I'm going to apologize first things first, right off the bat. I'm in the middle of battling a cold, so if there's some sniffling, I apologize. This is the Chevy Tahoe RST Premier with the performance package, which means you can make it do this. Woo! Little Ric Flair, woo! So what's making all that noise? Well, this doesn't have the 5.3 liter V8 that comes in pretty much every Tahoe. This has the 6.2 liter V8, making considerably more horsepower. The standard engine makes 355 horsepower and I think around 360 pound-feet of torque. This engine is making 420 horsepower and about 460 pound-feet of torque. That's a nice improvement. Also, this RST is fitted with the optional Borla Performance exhaust, which lets out more noise. Now, it actually does a great job of being quiet when you're not under load on the throttle, but when you dip into it, it wakes up. It's a perfect mix for cruising around of keeping it quiet, and then when you romp on the go pedal, it wakes up. Now, I worry that it might get a little bit droney if, say, you were towing with this thing. In four-wheel drive version, which this is, the tow rating is 8,100 pounds. The rear-wheel drive, just the two-wheel drive version, it's 8,400 pounds, and you'd be under constant load if you were towing, so that for backseat passengers, it might get a little bit, but as far as what I've been experiencing, it's a great mix of awesome noise and then just it disappears when you're not heavy on the throttle. Now, backing that engine up isn't a 6-speed gearbox. It's the 10, I forget the designation, but it's the 10-speed. It's the Hydromatic 10-speed, and it's suited rather well to this vehicle. It keeps you in the power band when you want to be in the power band, or it helps you try to eke out a little bit of fuel economy, but you're not going to get much. I've been seeing up to 20 on the highway, and if you have it in the right mode, you can see the active engine management working to switch you from V8 mode to V4 mode, and it tells you when it's doing that, and it's rather seamless. And you can see the fuel economy jump around when you're doing that. If I set it the other day, cruise control at 85 because it's the 405 in Southern California. There was no traffic. I set it at 85, and it did a good job of keeping me close to 20 miles per gallon. Not bad. RST stands for Rally Sport Truck. And this isn't an off-road machine. This is an on-road sporty machine. It's wearing 22-inch wheels with two 85/45R tires. They're Bridgestone Duelers, so they look good because a vehicle like this needs big wheels and tires. I always like a little bit more sidewall, but this is a sporty, street-focused truck, so, it gets a little bit of a pass there. I like that they blacked them out. Now, speaking of blacking it out, that's kind of the theme of this RST Premier trim vehicle here. Everything has been blacked out. I love the lack of chrome, mostly lack of chrome. There's minimal chrome here. Chevy, GM in general, they love that plastic chrome, and I don't. I don't like it when there's chrome everywhere. GM has been fascinated with chrome since they used to use real deal chrome back in the 50s and 60s, and it's carried on through its plastic fantastic stages to this day. There goes a Silverado right there with tons of chrome in its grill. That doesn't scream truck to me, all that chrome. So I love that they've blacked it out, body color matched in the grille, the badges are blacked out, the bow tie's black with a little bit of chrome. Chevy has to have some chrome in there. There's black and some chrome or aluminum on the wheel itself. But inside, if there would normally be chrome trim, it's just like a flat plastic color, and it's accented by this gorgeous reddish brown interior. Seriously, this looks really good and helps you realize that this is a fairly premium vehicle, and it comes with a fairly premium price tag. I believe the base Tahoe starts at like $49. This four-wheel drive Premier starts at $65. With the RST Performance Package, which gets you that 6.2 liter engine, and it also gets you magnetic ride control, this one is $78. Woo! Let's do an anti-Ric Flair. Ooh! Anti-Ric Flair for that one. That's a ton of money for a Tahoe. That is Yukon Denali money for a Tahoe. Why don't you just get the Denali? You're nearly into Escalade money at that point as well. You're also $8,000 more expensive as tested than a Durango SRT, which has more horsepower. and the same amount of room inside, at least in terms of seating arrangement. So I'm having a hard time falling in love with the price. The rest of it is pretty great. Another area I don't love, which is a bit surprising, is in the suspension itself. Now, GM and Chevy, what they've done here is that they've applied a performance-calibrated magnetic ride setup. Now, you can't adjust it. There's no sport mode, comfort mode. As far as I found, there isn't a button somewhere to change the characteristics of the suspension. And I wish there was, because when I get in a Tahoe, I want it to be a fairly cush ride. And for the most part, they are. And that's part of the appeal of the Tahoe, is that it is a full-size lazy boy. There's something wonderful about driving a Tahoe. They look good on the outside, especially this boxy generation. These look really sharp on the outside. Inside, they're always pretty comfortable, and that's why they're appealing. That's why 79% of Tahoe and Suburban owners buy another one when it's time to re-up. 79% go, I'm getting another one. I love that. I have a very close friend of mine who has a Yukon Denali. He had the last gen. You know what he got when it was time to get a new one? Another one. He got another one because he loved the vehicle that much. So circling back to what the hell I was talking about with the suspension, it's kind of permanently set on just a bit too stiff. It's a little bit too bouncy on the highway. In the smoother parts of the highway, it's great. But Southern California has a bit of a choppy highway situation, and you really notice it here. This thing is bouncing, and I don't want that. I don't want a full-size SUV that's bouncing around. But on this smooth road, when that car gets out of the way and that car gets out of the way, and then you can just punch it. And the ride is great. 22-inch wheels with the magnetic ride suspension help keep all four wheels fairly planted. The magnetic ride suspension is very good at doing that. Now, when it comes time to haul in that speed, this is also wearing an optional upgraded brake package. Those front brakes aren't the standard 13-inch rotors. It's a Brembo 6-piston setup, and it is a 16.1-inch massive rotors. As I said before, there's something just really nice about driving a Tahoe. I don't need a vehicle this large in my life. However, this one just feels good. There are a few vehicles that when you drive them, like a full-size Range Rover, you just feel like you're conquering the world around you. A Tahoe is similar, just a different way of expressing that, price tag-wise too. So getting back to the price though, it's the price and the suspension are my two biggest holdups. I would probably get used to the suspension. I almost wish you could take it somewhere who's specialized in tuning magnetic ride suspension setups and just have them back off like a few clicks. Like on a mountain bike, how you can dial it in. I wish you could do that here. I wish they just gave you a button to be comfort, normal, and sport. That would be fantastic. That would solve the issue, because then you would just put it in comfort and be good to go. And if you really wanted to, autocross this thing, you could sporting it up a bit. Sporting it up. That is patent pending, trademark pending. But when you are cruising on a nice road like this, I think we're on Santiago Canyon right now in Irvine, for those of you who know the area. You've got those two captain's chairs back there, which your passengers would love. You've got a third row, which you can fold down, power folding. Cut to that video. Boop. Power folding, 60-40 split back there, which is nice. Power tailgate. There are tons of luxurious amenities here, which is good because they're asking nearly $80,000. So the takeaways here, because at this point the cold is taking over my brain and I'm rambling. I love the styling with the lack of chrome. I love the engine and exhaust pairing. I could do with some better suspension tuning, and the price is a bit shocking. But all in all, it's a pretty sweet little truck. So there you have it.